Jeannie, we're going viral. So the Browns took Baker Mayfield with that first overall pick of the draft. 3 picks later, they added Denzel Ward. So what's the perk of going in the first round? You know it. Throwing out the first pitch at the Indians game. Just a bit outside.
Baker already struggling with accuracy issues.
Oh.
What? What? I just call it like I see it. I mean, that's 60 feet, right? 60 feet, 6 inches? Jenna, how many yards is 60 feet?
That's like more than 60.
It's 20 yards. That's okay. Don't worry about that. But, so, I mean, you got to be able to make that throw at the NFL level, I feel like.
Yeah,
sorry to put you on the spot like that. I thought it was a little.
Hey, all it does is make your show look worse, so keep doing it, Nick.
I've never been a big fan of the double throwouts. You know, I think it makes it difficult.
You've thrown out a first pitch?
No, but I'm just saying I don't like to have 2 guys on the mound. I think it gets confusing for the catchers. So,
okay.
So we'll talk to the Indians about that.
Okay. You just talk to the
He
Indians.
did do the smart thing. He didn't throw on the mound. He threw on level ground. But
You'd have thrown on the mound, see?
yeah, that's what I did. I threw one. I threw one for the Reds. I threw from the mound.
Yeah, you got to throw from the mound. Come on, Baker. But I guess with 2 guys, maybe you can't. You're going to share the rubber? I get it.
Can we talk about football?
Yeah, no problem. Sorry. Not going to talk about math anymore.
You're so annoying. You're so annoying. I'm not going to think it. I'm just going to say it out loud. Forgive my double talk here, Coach, but it's safe to say the New England Patriots have both a quarterback and a quarterback problem. They have Tom Brady, but they don't have much after Tom Brady. Many speculated they would draft a quarterback, which they did, with the 219th overall pick. So one could argue they don't have much of a plan post-Brady, who turns 41 in August. Not that there's anything wrong with people in their 40s. Some of them are my best friends. Coach, you surprised the Patriots didn't draft a quarterback till the 7th round?
No, this is very similar to the situation they had in 2009. So Tom Brady's coming off the major knee injury. Matt Castle at that point got franchised. The Patriots end up trading Matt Castle to Kansas City, and the guy who was the backup quarterback at that point was Brian Hoyer. So we fast forward, they make a trade again, they've got Brian Hoyer again. They go and get a quarterback in the 7th round. Matt Castle was a 7th round draft pick as well. Tom was a 6th round draft pick. I think they've shown a track record to be able to develop down the line guys to be competitive in the league.
How long is down the line, though? Can the down line be a year?
Well, they do have Brian Hoyer there now, who they obviously feel comfortable with, and if the kid that they picked up, Danny Eitling, can do well or can develop the way they expect him to, a year from now this could look totally different.
Listen, I advocated for the Patriots to not draft a quarterback, and I think most people thought I was nuts on that. You have Tom Brady. I want to use as many resources as I can right now to add weapons to the team or to shore up weaknesses on the team while I have Tom Brady. Now, they did something that Belichick loves to do, and it was another signal to me that Belichick is not planning on retiring anytime soon, which is trade a 2nd-round pick this year for a 2nd-round pick next year. Like, if Belichick's thinking about hanging him up, the opposite's happening. Hey, guys, we're trying to get this player for this year. We'll give you next year's 2nd rounder. No. He gave up an opportunity to get a player this year for what he thinks is good value for a 2nd-round pick in the future. I think he only does that if he expects to be able to pick that player in next year's draft. He's planning to coach next year and the year after. Like, Belichick, this draft told me 2 things. One is they weren't as concerned about depth at quarterback as most folks on television were for them. And the other one was that Bill Belichick still is thinking about the long game and not in a right now mode.
Right. I'm never going to be of the school of thought with the reports. I never thought Bill Belichick was thinking about walking away from New England. I thought that the way he's coached the team and everything I've heard with the people around him, why would he quit? All right? Tom Brady. Now, as much as I know about New England, as close as I follow them, man, I don't know what the heck they're doing at quarterback. Because there's no way with a 41-year-old quarterback and Brian Hoyer as your quarterback and you're trying to win Super Bowls that besides the cap, besides you saying, okay, I like our number, what we're spending for the quarterback room. I like the chemistry that our quarterbacks have. I don't know anything about their quarterback situation in Tom Brady that you would be in love with as far as the future. So I knew Garoppolo was a mistake. But now it's still a huge gaping hole in their roster is who's going to be the next quarterback. And if Brady gets hurt, man, I do not want Hoyer as my starter. Now, obviously, they're very, very comfortable with him.
But when you look back at the past and look at the articles from that 2009 season, and when they traded Matt Castle, it was the same thing. It was Brady's coming off this major knee injury. How could they possibly trade away this young, emerging star quarterback in Matt Castle? And he was he was higher regarded than Jimmy Garoppolo was. He had won 11 games for the Patriots. So they trade him away, and then they go into the season with an undrafted free agent quarterback in Brian Hoyer. So now they've got Brian Hoyer back. He's got more experience. Am I saying he's a long-term answer? No, but they go and get another young quarterback in the later rounds. They feel very confident they can develop these guys.
They have more confidence in Hoyer than anyone's ever given confidence, because that was a huge part of the Garoppolo trade. Was people like, well, wow, what if Tom gets hurt? What are they going to do? Well, no, they erased that by bringing Hoyer back into the fold, which now you're talking about 2009. I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick thinks he's a bigger asset now because of his overall knowledge and all those starts and knowing the system and the personnel.
I think it was you that mentioned one of the reasons the Patriots picked San Francisco as the trade partner was because that's what opened up Brian Hoyer. Like that if you're going to trade away Jimmy Garoppolo, you need a quarterback that knows the system to come in as a backup. That was Brian Hoyer. Like I think
I think they could have gotten more value from a team like Cleveland, but they didn't have that option because they couldn't get Hoyer from San Francisco.
So the other point, though, that I'm going to bring up this, because we talk about if Brady gets hurt, there's two tracks here. One is when Brady retires, whether that's in 2 years or 3 years, or what Brady says when he's 45. The other one is, what if Tom Brady misses 3 weeks with a separated shoulder or something? The reality is that's never happened to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's only ever missed games due to injury once, when Bernard Pollard in week 1 hit him in the knee. The other 4 games he missed was due to suspension. He, Eli, Peyton, that era of quarterbacks have been remarkably healthy. Like, I understand he missed the full year, just like Peyton missed the full year. But none of these guys have the Ben Roethlisberger, you might miss 2 weeks in the middle of the season. It's never happened to him.
But check out the last chapter for all of them.
Sure.
Peyton, read the last chapter. Brett Favre, read the last chapter. And the thing about it is when you get to that age, it's not the significant injuries. It's the aches and pains, because it's hard to come back and recover. Now, it's been remarkable that he hadn't had any type of injury. None. Because even a younger quarterback, they can come back from almost all injuries. When you're to Tom Brady's age, it's the minor things that could end.
But they gambled last year, assuming that he could lose a step or get hurt or something by not trading away Jimmy Garoppolo for a while, hoping, I thought, they'd wait 6-7 weeks, see where his production is or how healthy he'd be. Then they have Jimmy Garoppolo. When he kept playing and they had to get rid of him, this whole second, third, fourth option of plans came into effect. And now they're going to go into this season with Brian Hoyer as their backup. I
imagine the other difficulty was knowing that they'd have to go into the offseason if they kept Garoppolo and franchise him and keep all that money tied up, where they couldn't make any moves in free agency. So by moving him when they did for what they did, which is really similar compensation to what they got for Castle back in the day, I could see why they went with that, why it was like with like. And to your point of confidence in Brian Hoyer, I think it's about confidence in their system and confidence in their ability to take a guy
in the system.
And even with these drafting a young player in the 7th round, that's confidence in the system and the coaching staff to be able to develop that guy to be successful.
I want to say something else, though, about the Patriots' general draft philosophy, because we saw 2 teams in particular this week and during the draft only to use one of their naturally given draft picks. New England had 9 draft picks. The 31st overall pick was theirs. They got it through the NFL because of their record. The other 8 picks they used were all acquired via some type of trade. Pick trade, player trade, whatever. Seattle, by the way, only used 1 pick. That was their naturally given draft pick. Everything else from them was via trade. Those are 2 teams that have drafted that just understand the draft so well, which is, you know what? We have the 43rd pick. We're going to flip it for the 51st and a 5th. Then we're going to flip that 51st for what we think is going to be next year's 38th. Like, they're constant churn, including late in the draft. Oh, we have the 231st pick. We're going to flip it for the 243rd and 250th, because at that point, it's lottery tickets, and we want as many as possible. They are so sharp in just the margins of upgrading their value in the draft. Now, they don't always hit on the players, but they give themselves as many opportunities as any team in the league.
And your point about trading for a 2nd-round pick next year, that doesn't have to be realized in the draft. They can use that at any point this offseason if they want to go get a player from another team. So it does give them some flexibility, you know, in the short term as well.
Coach, thanks for hanging out with us. Come back tomorrow. Do it again. Maybe use different words. Oh, you can use the same words. It's fine. Coming up, how far can LeBron carry the Cavs? Like 60 yards? I don't know. Next on First Things First.
60 yards?
Yeah.
How many feet?
Like 20 feet.
Oh!